Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tambua Women in Tech Fireside Chats. Now, for the past year, we have given shout-outs to over 88 women across the world, and it is an honor to continue with this chat so that we get to learn about what the women are doing in the ecosystem, what's the journey like. And so today, I am honored to be joined by Jessica, all the way from South Africa, and she's going to share with us her journey, her passions, and how she got to where she is. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
It would be good to know who exactly is Jessica.
Oh, sure. So my name is Jessica Randall. I'm currently a master's student and I'm studying topology, specializing in topological data analysis, which is algebraic topology. And I have a passion for tech and tech communities, and I'm involved in lots of leadership positions. And some of my hobbies include watching movies, especially blockbusters, because they're really interesting. And I am into crime series.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I guess we can have a chat about the crime series later. Obsessed with some of them. So you talked about the fact that you are doing your master's. Would you tell us what inspired you to do this particular master's?
Sure. So I am doing my master's in topological data analysis. So I'm really interested in pure mathematics, but with the applications of it. So I picked a field within topology, which is topological data analysis, where you can explore the applications of it with coding and computing. And that's why I was really interested in this specific project. Haven't really developed the title, but basically the model of what my project will look like is I will explore the mathematics behind TDA, or topological data analysis, which is like algebraic topology, which is more, it's got a more graphic or more visual sense of pure math. And then I will look at certain use cases of topological data analysis. And some examples is they used it to determine breast cancer from an X-ray. So just in short, in algebraic topology, you can do like a skeleton, which is like an outline of a human being, but you do a skeleton of the bones within a human being. And from there, you can easily detect if a person has breast cancer or not from an X-ray.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm looking at it, I'm marveling at the fact that you're doing this and the whole research work. And the thing you actually made me more interested when you mentioned the cancer aspects, because I'm looking at it like this could actually solve early identification, which is quite a struggle, other than waiting until the late stages and things like that. So you've mentioned also the fact that you are into tech communities, as we're leading towards your journey. Could you maybe tell us more about what you do in the tech community?
Sure. So I started off in 2019, well, 2021, 2022, as a GDSC lead. So I started off as a student lead, and then I branched off into being a woman tech maker, and now I'm a crowdsource influencer. So that's just the chronological order of my leadership positions. But basically, what I do as a whole is host events for the needs and wants of the audience, and make sure that they are really interested in what we have to talk about, and that it leads and guides them in the right direction of their future. And I also do mentorship sessions. So I mentor my mentees in terms of what they want or where they want to be. And we look at what is the best roadmap or the best journey on how to get there, given their current circumstances and what access to resources they have. So I do that as well. And I also contribute in other ways, like article writing. I have a blog, and I also write on Medium. So those are just like another way of contributing. And then I also attend events like other tech events where I get like ideas, but I also speak at some of those events. So that's more or less what my tech role looks like at the moment.
Okay, interesting. That's really an amazing profile. I think just to, kind of summarize this, I'm looking at you as a tech leader because you talked about the fact that you started this as a student, GDSC lead, all the way to somebody who's actually working towards creating visibility for women in the tech space by being a WomenTechMakers Ambassador. Congratulations on that also. And the fact that you are a crowdsource influencer. We're looking at machine learning and AI, and one of the things that the crowdsource program works towards is just ensuring as much data is provided to be able to train these models. Now, I want us to circle back some of the things, when you talk about you being part of the tech ecosystem, you being a mentor to others, you being somebody who creates or organizes events that provides a space for developers to just, learn from one another. Would you maybe tell us the journey towards that? You said you were a student's lead in 2021, 2022, right? So what has been the journey like for you from being just a student to, now joining the ecosystem, being a mentor to other people, and now an influencer? The challenges you face with that. Sorry, go ahead.
Sure, sorry. Okay, I think I'll start with it hasn't been easy. It's definitely been challenging. I think as a student, it was nice in the sense that I had all the best mentors. So I don't like to say that I have one, but I have a family of mentors. So I've got like 6, 7, 8 people that I speak to on a daily basis. And I think at first I wasn't like really sure what it meant to be a mentor in tech or to even run a community or what that looks like. So when I started, it was like really new and it was a challenge. So being a GDSC lead, I think I faced lots of challenges. It was still COVID during that time. So the space in which I was in was very strict in how to host events. So we did majority of our events online. And then I think late 2022, around May, we were able to do handovers. So I had like a hackathon. We created like a challenge for people, and then there were people who won prizes, and then we were able to do like handovers of prizes. So that like wasn't really allowed before, but they made concession for it. So like those were the challenges. Was definitely COVID, and it's hard to reach students when something something like that turns your whole life like upside down. And it's hard to be positive during that time or any time, basically. So like those were some of the challenges I faced, is like trying to be positive. I mean, you're building a community from scratch and it's not exactly going the way you want it to. So I struggled to be positive. And those were like some of my struggles and the challenges. But I think the people that made it possible was definitely my core team, because they were quite helpful and we always worked on things together, and I didn't feel alone in that aspect. So that was really nice. Obviously, I had to be the leader, but it's nice to know that someone is right next to you and is willing to help you. So those are like some of the challenges just in the initial stage, but the journey from being a student into being in the ecosystem was, I think, hard and challenging at the same time, but also very rewarding. So I got lots of different mentors. I learned how mentorship works. I don't know if it's right to say this, but I think I've seen growth in how I mentor others and how my mentors mentor me, and all the lessons and valuable skills that I learned from them just by them mentoring me. And in terms of community like leadership, I met lots of community leaders last year and during the year, and I learned a lot of skills of how they do things, or how I liked how they do things, like just like how they the communication and just how this like planned everything was quite like on another level. So I learned all those skills and I'm still like getting to the other level. So I would describe the journey in 3 words: roller coaster, rewarding, and challenging. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm only imagining the roller coaster aspect of it. It's you actually were during the COVID period, everybody was having like different challenges. Here you are trying to start something new within your community, and it's fully virtual, maybe because of the whole, situation and people not being able to interact, but still being able to break through the ceilings. So again, congratulations on that. I think one of the things I like personally about you is the fact that you tend to push and you tend to just put your best foot forward in everything that you're doing, which has really made you stand out. It's a good thing also to just listen to also the challenges you faced. But I want us to kind of go back to the mentorship aspect. When people talk about mentorship, they think that if you're a mentor, you do not need another mentor. Like if you are somebody who's mentoring other people, then you yourself, you don't need a mentor. But you've talked about the fact that as much as now you're mentoring other people, you still have mentors who are supporting you. Would you kindly talk about the importance of mentorship in your journey and how you as an individual perceive the whole thing?
Sure. So it was so funny because I was actually speaking to a friend of mine. I was busy with Android and he was saying, get out of the mindset that you need a mentor, but it's someone that's really nice to have. So I'll speak about why I really need one, but it's not a must, but it's available. So I see mentorship as it's someone who is not necessarily better than you, but knows more. So someone who can easily translate knowledge in a way that you understand it, that is willing to guide you, but not necessarily be the person that you're gonna like hit with everything that comes your way, but like things that you struggle with and you really want to speak to that person. That person is not perfect. They do not have everything figured out. So there are times where they don't feel always that they are in the best situation, and that's normal. So I think realizing that your mentor is human, that they do have a lot more experience in the field or just any form of aspect of mentorship, and they are wiser than you. That's basically what a mentor is. And then in terms of like mentorship, I think it's really important. So for me, it was really important. I'm going to be honest, I do not know anything computer science. So I didn't know like which roadmap to take, or like I didn't know anything like that. So having someone that knew more than me was very essential, in the sense that they could guide me and direct me, but I still had to do all the work. So a mentor is not someone that's going to do the work for you. They will guide you and direct you, and they would like their mentees to be obedient. That's one thing I did learn, especially if they take time to give you advice. So yeah, that's like in a nutshell. And I think mentorship is important. Usually a person who wants mentorship or is looking for a mentor knows that they need one and knows why they need one. So that's an important aspect. Sometimes it's not for everyone, but if you know that you feel that you need someone that's going to guide you and just put you on like the right path, and you just need someone like that, then mentorship is perfect for you, especially if you're a beginner and you're not quite sure where to start. Always helps to have one. And one of my mentors described what having a mentor looks like, because he never had one. So I asked him, like, how do you feel about a mentor? And he was like, it's nice to have one. Some people don't. Like you said, I didn't have one, but that person will help you navigate things better, and you lose out on all the things that you had to go through. Like you said, it took me longer to get where I am. If I had had a mentor, it would have gone much better, but I do not regret not having one. So that's how I look at having a mentor. Yeah.
Amazing. And how exactly do you, identify somebody to mentor you? How do you reach out? Because one of the things I think when you have conversations with other people who are just getting started in their journey, the biggest question is, okay, so I need a mentor. I feel like I want to get a mentor, but I just don't know how to. Now, being that you have more than one mentor, how exactly do you go about, identifying and reaching out to them?
Okay, this is okay, mine was really hard because I had one in university. I think my first or second year. It was like the first time I heard about mentors. And I was like, I met this person, and he was saying like, no, this one of our friends, our mutual friends, was his mentor. And I asked him like, how did you come to meet your mentor? And then he told me a bunch of things. So I'm just gonna summarize it in a very short version.
Okay.
But I think your mindset is really important. Yeah, so your mindset and the person's mindset kind of somehow need to align at some point, or have some point where they meet and they are really in common, and you can relate to each other. So your mentor's got to be relatable. Your mindset and values somehow need to align. Depending on what they're mentoring you on, you would like the person to be more or less an expert in the field in which you want mentorship. Like if you're looking for tech mentorship, as in like Android or machine learning, then that would be their field would be really important. And another friend said you'd want them to be easily accessible and available to you. I don't mean in the sense that you must message them every single day, but I mean they mustn't be hard to reach, in the sense that if you really need their help, they will be there. Yeah. So mindset, relevant or can relate to you, and easily available or readily available to help you. And if it's a tech field, something that they have in common, or a tech field that you would want to be mentored in, they would have to know a lot about it. So those are like the few things that I looked for. So I found my mentors at very different stages over the last like 3 to 4 years. But basically, for me personally, I looked for someone that understands how my brain works, because I'm a very complicated person. And I found someone that really understands. I found 2 people that really understand how my brain works, in the sense that when something goes wrong or they're not happy with what I said, they think of ways to like make me understand what I did wrong, because they really understand my brain very well. So that's what I looked for, because I know I am very complicated and I have a weird analogy of looking at things. So I looked for someone that's really positive, just because sometimes I struggle to see the positive. And so I looked for someone that had all the strengths that are my weaknesses, but also strengths that we share, so that we can be there for each other. Because I feel like people think your mentor needs to be standalone, and you as the mentee can't help your mentor, but that is not true, because I sometimes teach my mentors a lot, and my mentees teach me a lot, and so it goes both ways. So yeah, that's how I would suggest, or a few things I would suggest in how you should pick your mentor.
Interesting insights. I like a lot of what you're saying, actually. I feel like I'm learning from you, you know. You talk about you need somebody who's positive, somebody who supports you and understands you for who you are without trying to even just change aspects of your personality, but just guiding you through the whole process. And the fact that most mentees assume it's always just them learning from the mentor, but not the other way around. So the aspect that you brought about everybody learning from one another. I want us to go back to your field. You know, I'm finding it quite interesting. We are in an era where everybody's talking about data, AI, ML, you know, and here you are working along that space. So what is the main motivation? What keeps you waking up and saying, I want to continue doing my research in this field, and I just want to be better at what I'm doing? Main motivation.
Yeah. Oh, this is so hard. Okay, so I think one of the best qualities to describe myself is that I genuinely want things alone by myself. So I don't have anyone pushing me to, like, you know, you must do your research, you must do all your tech things, you must write all the emails, you must do all the messages. So I feel like I kind of drive myself. I'm super ambitious. But if I had to think of what motivates me to like do what I do every single day, it would be that I have people believing me. So, yeah, that would be the main motivation. Because somehow that knowing that someone believes in you, someone is accepting of you, it's like it links to my core values, because I always wanted to be like accepted and loved, and having those people that do feel those things for me and do love me and do support me and do believe in me, that is my main motivation to do what I do every single day. It's the nice thing, the reason why I say it's my main motivation, because it's constant in the sense that I always have it, and it doesn't change, and it's always there. Yeah, that's my main motivation.
Wow. Yes, yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people do believe in you, you know, based on all the things that you're doing, empowering other people and the impact that you have had across, you know, the tech ecosystem. And not just within South Africa, which is actually quite great, you know, seeing you even break through to other regions. It's just, you know, it's an honor and just amazing to actually observe. Now, let's go back to, you talked about the challenges you faced, right? What are some of the learnings over time? And what are some of maybe, you know, something that you're like, I feel like this is an achievement on my end. So what are some of the learnings you've made over time, other than just the challenges aspect of it?
Okay. Well, the learnings, or what I've learned over time, patience. It's really hard to be patient, but I think all the challenges kind of teach you that. It doesn't matter what the challenge is, but patience is always there. Because you have to be patient to realize what you're going to do to solve the challenge or address the challenge. And that is not sometimes at the forefront of your mind when you think of the challenge. You just think, oh, this is the worst thing that's going to happen. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? So like that is like your brain just goes into like full on panic worry mode. So I definitely think patience is one of the most important things I learned. Compassion and kindness, because you never know what someone is going through or what your community is going through. I know that COVID was a really hard time for everyone, not just like individual people, but it was a hard time overall. So I think that whole situation taught me to be more compassionate and sympathetic, and to think of others in more basically. You think of others more, and that helps me to be an empathetic and sympathetic leader, which helps in my form of leadership because I have a very charismatic form of leadership. So I want like my core team members or my mentors to tell me, hey, this happened, and I'm completely understanding of it. So I learned to be more compassionate, sympathetic, and I learned about patience. And I also learned how to lead. Well, what is the best leading style for me? Because it's really hard to figure that out. But I think I've had so many leadership positions outside of tech and in tech that have shaped what type of leadership style I take on, which is really nice. Sometimes it changes a bit depending on who I'm leading with, but it's nice to know who you are and what your style looks like when you go into other leadership positions, and it shapes your whole view. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah, that's really important. I'm gonna just ask you a question. So for somebody keen on pursuing the field that you're currently working on, what would be like, is there like an exact path? Are there resources or like somewhere you could just refer them to just go check it out and see if this is what they want to do?
Sure. So the thing that I'm currently doing is it's a very long process in the sense that you do like 4-year math degree can do it basically anywhere in the world. The 4-year math degree or 3-year math degree. But it's a very long process. So the field that I'm currently in is a very specialized area, and you only really do topology in honors, which is like the bigger section of what I'm going into. And then for masters, you can go like really specialized. So I would say maybe it'll take like about 6 years to get to where I am, more or less. But I mean, there are other ways to learn topology. You don't have to be like at the honors level. There's like NGA courses, which is like short courses that are free and virtual that some professors do online that you could read. You can join in your 3rd year, 2nd year to get a feel for what you like mathematically. And there's lots of like other institutions that you can go to if you're interested in more of the application part of pure mathematics. AIMS, I think there are quite a few AIMS institutes all over Africa. AIMS stands for American Institute of Mathematics, Mathematical Sciences. So you can go to them directly and like pick a specialized master's that you want to do with them after your degree. You don't even have to do honors, you can go straight to them. So yeah, that's more or less what the scope looks like. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We are almost at time. It would just be good to hear some parting words from you, words of encouragement, more so to women who are looking up to you and just wishing that they could learn a thing or two from you to help them grow and be the next Jessica, you know. So any words of encouragement that you feel you'd like to share with the women?
Yes, definitely. So I would say be brave. Brave doesn't mean that you are without fear, but it means that you see something that's more important than your fear. And yeah, that's a few words. And that the brave may not live long, but the cautious do not live at all. Yeah, that's what I would read.
Should have that branded somewhere. Thank you so much, Jessica. It was really good to have you. For those who are going to be watching this, I am sure we have learned a lot from just listening to her journey, her focusing on topology, to being a woman leader, you know, leading the GDSC at some point, being a WomenTechMakers Ambassador, working towards increasing visibility for women in the tech space, and actually not being a crowdsource influencer while still doing her research. She is definitely a force to reckon with, and I am happy to say that she is one remarkable woman that we are so happy to have as part of our Tambua Women in Tech Fireside Chats. Jessica, if somebody wants to reach out for mentorship, kindly just tell us where can they reach out, or if they have questions for you.
Sure. So you can reach out to our Instagram, which is at mathgeek199813, or you can reach out to my Twitter, which is at JessZA, or you can reach out to me via email, which is at jess1998math@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you. We will be tagging all her handles there. Feel free to reach out to her if you feel like she has inspired you and you just want to learn from her. Once again, thank you so much, Jessica, for joining our first episode for 2023 for the Fireside Chat. It was an honor having you and looking forward to future interactions. For now, I'm going to have to say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you so much for having me. It was a privilege to speak to you today.
Thank you.